Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Haunt Talk. In today's episode, we are going to be reviewing one of our more favoritist haunts. Actually, it was our haunt of the year last year, and that is Ghoul Brothers in Akron, Ohio. So if you don't know much about this, it is a fairly unassuming haunt from the outside. It is in like the back of like a little shopping mall kind of thing.
Yep.
But as we have obviously stated many times, considering it as haunt of the year, it is very, very impressive on the inside. So we are excited to check it out this year, because that's the thing too, is they don't really talk about much of what they don't advertise too much of like what they change and stuff. So it's always kind of like surprise, kind of go in there and see what this year's show is going to bring. Also, make sure to stay tuned for the video, because we will be doing a giveaway for the tickets, for 2 tickets to this a pair. So to find out those details, watch the video in further. We'll talk about that about midway through the review or so. As always, make sure you're liking and subscribing. Make sure you're checking out our merch store to see what kind of stuff we have there. Buying stuff from there directly helps us a lot, as well as checking out our Patreon to also support the channel. That being said, it's time to get in the review, which as always means it's time to refer to the Book of the Dead! Book of the Dead! Book of the Dead! Book of the Dead! We're going to talk about sets and props. They have a lot of them. This year is definitely the best for sets and props, because they have... The only thing I think that I've complained about in years past is there was like just a small section that was just, we were like, oh, we'd like to see it be another scene instead of like this bit of darkness, because it was like a little too long of darkness, and it kind of like interrupted the haunt. And I'm really glad to say that there's just an itty bitty part of like a black hallway now, and everything else is just elaborate scene after elaborate scene.
Yeah.
Ghoul Brothers doesn't really stick to one specific theme. It's just like, it's like more of like old school in the way that the theme goes from different theme to different theme to different theme.
Yeah, it's just everything you could think of Halloween wise. It's like they're like, here's some aliens, here's some monsters, here's some this, here's some cannibals, You've got a little of everything just all mixed in together, and it's great.
Yeah, and I mean, there's like a lot of the classic scenes like that's been there as long as I can remember. I mean, there's even like a scene that has like a little bit of a Christmas vibe to it. They had the new edition last year, which kind of has like a wharf type of thing going on. Some of the additions for this year, there's like a nuclear fallout type of section. That was really cool. There's a small section that kind of like was a little like had like I don't know, like satanic / runic symbols on the walls.
Yeah, I got like witchcrafty kind of vibes, but yeah, like some sort of ruins all over the thing there. And then there was also a new section, which was one of my personal favorites. Was like the huge pumpkin area.
Yeah, it was really cool, and it was like real pumpkins in there for the most part. But then there was also like this really cool like pumpkin animatronic that's set in the shelf, and it just like slowly, like its mouth opened and closed, so the whole thing just moved up and down.
That was really cool.
And it looked like rotten pumpkin guts inside of it, so the whole thing just kind of, so that was really neat. But I mean, yeah, just the place in general, like it feel, and I'm sure it's not, but it feel like it was even like a little more, they probably did a little bit of set dressing and set touching up here and there, but just the lighting in the place is really good, like the fog effects, the sound design, there's a lot of things like to push your way through. Everything is like interactive, like nothing's there for no reason. Like if there's, for example, like if there's an animatronic, it's there for to distract you. They don't overuse animatronics either. There are some, but it's mainly really cool set design. And they have some really cool like actor man puppets there.
Yeah, and they're gonna get you.
Yeah, the alligator's one of the most aggressive ones. He's been the thumbnail before. There's a lot of like pig parts and like heads, of course, and stuff like that. They have some really cool like plant animatronics that come out and nom at you.
Yeah, I always like those. I always like the big plants. I don't know why. They're just so weird looking, and they're like sideways because they're like they come at you like this and try to grab at you. And I think those are great.
Yeah, they have some. They do have a vortex tunnel in there. Which, it's hard to talk because, again, we're trying to completely separate the sets and props from the actors. But this place is, and if you've watched the reviews here before, very actor-centric. Which, in my opinion, is how haunted houses should be.
Yes.
And so a lot of the sets and props will tie in to actors a little bit. But they do have, like, they didn't have any full of the claustrophobic tunnels, but they had 2 sections that were half. A section really early on where there's like pig parts and stuff hanging down. You're pushing your way through all of that, which is cool. And then the swamp section with the alligator later. But yeah, there's just like I said, this is scene after scene. There's just so much detail. There is a clown section, but even the clown section I felt like is done really well.
Yes.
In this one.
It's more like old school carnival, like sideshow-ish kind of clown. It's not like your typical like big top kind of stuff. So I like that they have it kind of like a little bit of like a freak show, sideshow kind of thing.
And I like that none of the themes like really like overstay their welcome. Since they're doing so many themes, it's really like almost everything gets like equal showtime. Yeah, I guess. Yeah. But yeah, sets and props are as good as they always are. Like I said, not a ton of changes, but I was actually surprised to see that there was like 3 whole new sections though. Yeah. So this might actually be one of the biggest expansions like I've seen, because we'll talk about it more in value, but this is also one of the longer years too. Yeah. It really feels like it's like grown in length. We'll have to look back on the other year when we get to that to kind of see in time comparison, but that's what we have the Book of the Dead. But for sets of props, we did actually give it a 10 this year, because I mean the only thing that we really complained about before was there's being a little bit too much black hallway, and that's been fixed, and I really like the scenes they added. Yeah.
And even the black hallway that is still there.
It's very short, and it's kind of cool because there's tons of tubes hanging down.
Yeah. So it's not like just a boring black hallway. I mean, there's actually something in there. And like the actors pop in there too. So it's not like you're just walking through a little hallway. Right. Doing nothing. So.
No. Yeah, sets and props are absolutely amazing. Yeah, it's just really good. So I mean, if you've watched our reviews for it before, it's that, but even better. So, So yep, that moves us into actors, which again, as I said earlier, and we've said in all our reviews, that this place's bread and butter.
Yes. So I'm going to read exactly what it says here in the Book of the Dead. It says, actors, all of them, like 5 at a time. What is happening? Make it stop. So many, they sometimes watch you.
Yeah, there's so many times actually where you're being, I'm not exaggerating when I say this, because if you go to haunted houses fairly regularly, like, it's hard to fully staff these places. Yeah. And I'm always told by the guy we talk to, we're not even fully staffed this night. And I'm like, I don't want to see this place fully staffed.
Yeah, I'm scared to go there when it's fully staffed, because like there was probably maybe, I don't know, how many you think was actually in the house?
Oh, I don't know how many's in the house, because we've talked about it before. This place is designed so great, where you're going to get scared by the same actor. I don't even know how many times. The one, I saw him at least 5 times. Yeah. At least.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He just kept, There was a shirtless guy that he was everywhere.
I mean, we took like a little after we were done, because we kind of want to see the new scenes. We kind of took like a little mini tour of the new scenes, just trying to get those people kept scaring us. Like, they're scaring the guy that knew that worked there, because they're just like, I'm going to do it, because
they were just so in the mode. It was just like, they didn't care who was coming through. They were just going to get you.
But back to like that they so sometimes watch you, like, it is insane to think, like, and that's what I was saying, if you've been to many haunts, it's kind of hard to imagine if you haven't been to like this one or another. I haven't seen, like, the closest I've compared to the haunted houses we've been to, the amount of actors they have, are the ones that we went to Kentucky, and that's still not as many as they have here. Like, this is still something else, but like, you're getting scared by 3 people at once, and there's so many that there's 2. It's creepy. You'll just see them, like, their heads in like little holes, just watching you or something. I mean, it's hard to describe, because I mean, like, the second you enter the haunt, I mean, it is just, you become almost desensitized by the end of it, because of how many jump scares. Yeah. And I mean, it's every type of jump scare you can possibly imagine as well. Plus them following you and interacting with you. It's not just boo and they're done. Like, you get this one, boo and they're done, while 3, I'm not exaggerating, 3 are behind you, taunting you, just following you.
Yeah, he was actually being taunted this time. Last year it was me. They kept saying my name, and this time they were saying his name throughout the entire haunt. Like, everybody just kept saying,
don't let him find out your name, or they'll...
Yeah. Oh my gosh. It was just ridiculous. It was just so ridiculous. But yeah, they would just... This isn't one of those haunts where they're just going to scream and that's it. Like, they have lines, they have dialogue. The one guy, I swear, he basically spoke a song to us. And like, the fact that he remembered it and just kept going and going and going, and I'm just like, okay, that's pretty cool. Like, yeah. it was spooky and it was great. And he was just like, does he say this for every single person that comes through? Which is probably a yes. Which was just absolutely amazing. But like, they have dialogue, they interact with you, they ask you questions, and if you answer them, of course, they're just gonna go off on that. And I really love that this place does that.
Yeah. I mean, there's just nothing else. If you, like I said, if you want to go to a haunt and the main thing you care about is actors, this is going to be like absolute haunt heaven for you. Yeah. But I mean, yeah, there's just, it's almost even hard to make shout outs just because there are so many all at one time, just constantly. But I mean, like, just watching them move about, like, we just haven't done a shirtless guy was the one that just kept coming back. I don't even know how many times he scared Kim. And, like, they'll just fly at you. I mean, there's so many times where I do not know where they were.
Right.
Like, they would just appear. Like I said, half the time, like, you would look and, like, you think it's, like, someone that's, like, a mannequin, but they're just sitting there, just be watching you and not even trying to scare you at this moment because there's 3 other people scaring you, and then they're going to get you in the next scene. Mm-hmm. And it's terrifying because you're like, oh, I know they're going to get me because they're watching me, but you have no idea where because there's like 5 hiding spots in every room. Mm-hmm. It's absolute insanity. And it's really hard to describe unless you just go there. But we did, just some, like, ones we have mentioned here, like the worm girl's cool. She's, like, one that sits there when you enter, like, the wharf area, and she has these worms, and she really tries to get you to eat them. And, of course, I wouldn't. And then the 2 people that are following us starts, like, taunting me and making fun of me because I wouldn't eat the worms. Why don't you like worms? What don't you like about them? And I'm like, they're slimy. He's like, well, that's why you just suck on them for a while. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah, and then they said something to him later because we were in a different room past the worm girl, and somebody said something to you about the worms. Still don't like worms?
Yeah, it's
just
crazy.
They're just like...
They're so relentless. Something that was really wild, and this happened in both claustrophobia rooms, is when, because they're half claustrophobias, as they get in there and they go back and forth like that, so it makes the whole thing just jaunt you around. And then in the vortex tunnel we were in there was, I think, 3 in the vortex tunnel with us. So 5 people on this bridge, and they are jumping up and down on this thing so hard. We thought it was going to
break. I thought it was going to break. Like, legit, I was like, oh my God, I'm going to die in a vortex tunnel in the haunted house. It was terrifying.
Yeah. Of course, you have your classic. He's been there every time. The Kiss the Pig guy. He just really wants you to make out with his dead pig hanging from a meat hook. One of my favorite scares that was in the new room is in the pumpkin room. It's really cool. They have someone that's dressed like a pumpkin on a shelf, but it's an actor.
That was great.
So, good luck knowing that was, because Kim didn't see that one the first time we walked through.
Yeah, I saw it the second time when we went to go look at those scenes again, and I'm like, oh, there's...
That was a really good scare. I really liked this guy. I actually didn't see what it was the first time, but there is this guy who had, like, on his arm, it was like a possum puppet, and he's like hiding down, and he has it sitting up on a fridge, and then like he'll stand up with the possum on his arm, and have like little glowing eyes or something.
I saw it the first time we went through, and it didn't move, and I'm like, that's got to be attached to something. And then the second time we went through, he actually popped up, and he actually had like a fur coat on, like, that was like covering him, part of him, and then that thing was on his hand.
And of course, he came out and got us 1 or 2 more other times.
Yeah.
There was this guy who had like kind of like the Mr. Midnight thing from Cedar Point, like the crazy long fingernails. He was cool.
Yeah, that was really cool because, like, again, like, they'll just sit there and watch you. He was in like a cubby, and all you could see was like, it was like a prison bar kind of like window. And all you see are these little this giant hand going like this. He's not doing anything else. He's just doing that. And then, like, a few scenes later, there he is. And he's out, like, at you.
He's just kind of sitting there with his fingers down, just, like, watching us. I was like, what the hell? Yeah. Because, I saw him multiple times. It's really just wild. And there's something freaky about just seeing the same person that scared you over and over again, the beginning and the end of the haunt. And it's just the way they said this place is designed so well. Of course, another classic is the attic girl who just kind of stands there creepily.
Yeah, she does not move. She just stands there and is just staring at you.
And at the end, I think she whispered something to me. She's like, "Thanks for visiting," or something like that. She said to me. Oh yeah, there's some guy wearing like someone's face. It was like wearing like a skin face, and he kept asking me, "Am I handsome now?" That was fun. Some girl was like, I don't even know what was going on. There was like an oven, like, or like a little hole under a table, and she just kind of comes scuttling out from this little hole.
Oh, it actually reminded me of, if you're an X-Files fan, it reminded me of the episode, the very controversial episode called Home, where the mom rolls out from underneath the bed.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. I've never seen the episode though, but yeah.
It reminded me of that, because she just kind of rolled out. And she said something like, "What do you think you're doing in my house?" kind of thing. And I was just like, oh, God, it's Mama Peacock. It freaked me out a little bit, yeah. But
yeah, like I said, we could just go on and on and on. There are so many good actors. All of them did an amazing job. Yeah. I mean, obviously, a 10 out of 10. Somehow it was even better this year than the previous. And last year we gave it a 10 out of 10. But we don't rate higher than 10, obviously. But yeah, just amazing job all the way around. So now we will talk about the giveaway. Now this contest is going to be fairly simple, but I want to be very clear, so make sure you are paying attention if you want to win the tickets on what you need to do. So this video will be uploading on Tuesday the 17th, and since there's only like 2 weekends left, this contest, we're going to announce the winner will be announced on the 20th. So all you have to do is comment on the video saying you want to win the tickets. Now, to cross-promote Ghoul Brothers, they're going to announce the winner on their Facebook page. So make sure you comment on our video, and you have to be like and subscribe to the channel as well, of course, to be eligible. And then make sure you follow them on Facebook, so when they announce the winner on their Facebook page, you see it, and then you'll message them and basically get the tickets. So I don't know, I guess if you have a username, you might want to like comment what your name is on Facebook, I guess, because YouTube's kind of like weird like that. So I'd say I want to win the tickets, and then maybe just say like your name or something like that. So that way when I pick someone, they can then say the person's name on Facebook, and then you can message them and get the tickets. So again, they will be announcing that on Friday the 20th. If you don't respond within a reasonable amount of time, we will then have to pick another winner. So don't enter if you don't have a Facebook or are not willing to make a Facebook to follow them, or else, because you won't be able to, unfortunately, in that situation. But yeah, just comment with your name saying I want to win the tickets, and then they will announce it on their Facebook page on Friday the 20th. Alright, so there's that. And now it's time to move into our third category, which is Scare Factor. Yeah. So, I mean, obviously, it's very scary. All the jump scares.
All of them.
It's very loud. There is some gore.
Yeah.
But I mean, the main thing is just the amount of just jump scares. Mm-hmm. It is a fun time. They do not touch here. I do believe they touch a little bit on their Blackout event, which if you're watching this, and I want to do it this year because we did not do it last year. I think it's the first week in November. So like their last weekend to open. Follow them on Facebook and all that for more details, but it's like a complete blackout with some touching, is from what I understand. From what the one guy said, that they really don't do a touch pass just because it is close quarters with how aggressive and in-your-face the actors are. They're scared that it could be a little bit too much. Yeah. Which I definitely can see that.
Yeah. Maybe if they did just like a one-time like special event, you had to sign a waiver kind of thing.
Which is what they do for the blackout. Yeah. I would like to see it without blackout too. Yeah. Maybe like the last two, like a non-blackout touch event and a blackout touch event. Yeah. I've never done a blackout event, actually. We never have. Because it's usually at the end of the year, and we usually don't do reviews at the end of haunt season because no one's going to watch those videos. But I think it would be fun to experience, and we will do a video. I'm sure it won't get many views, but it'd be fun to do because we haven't done one. Because we do the Christmas videos, and no one watches those, but it's fun. It just always sucks with the Christmas ones because they're like always all on the same day. Right. So we get to go to one usually. Yeah. But yeah. I mean, Scare Factor, the only thing that would make it scarier is if they did grab in that, but I do think that probably for a normal show might be very hard to organize and stuff like that. I do think that you can still, even though it is very scary, I do think that it's still a lot of fun because the actors, it's not that and we've said this in other videos, it's not that overbearing atmosphere. It's just something like Chippewa has, where it still has this more fun, old school, like you're here to get scared and have a good time.
Yeah.
Not get, it's hard to describe what I'm meaning unless you know what I mean.
Yeah, no.
Because it is very scary, don't get me wrong. But it still has this, like, fun element to it, this kind of, like, scary whimsy almost, that I really like, and no other place does it as well as Ghoul Brothers does.
No, really don't.
But yeah, for scare factor, we gave it a 9.75. I think this is probably the scariest year we've went. Yeah, very, very scary. If you don't like tons of people constantly in your face, this is not the place for you. But if you are a fan of haunted houses, it very much is the place for you.
Yes.
So final category, which is value. So yeah, look at last year, because I want to know. So general admission's $25. They have group rates, but I do not believe there's any kind of fast pass that they offer.
Yeah, so it was $22.
Yeah.
Last year.
Yeah, so $22, so $3 increase. It was 15 minutes last year. This year it did take us a little bit longer, 17 minutes. The price did raise, like I said, $3. So it is at $25. So that is still excellent value. For that, we gave it a 9.5. But yeah, I could definitely see you being in this a little bit longer, especially if the actors hold you a little one, because I feel like we never really stopped much. It was a pretty constant motion.
It was, yeah.
But I could see it being a little bit longer. I can't see it being much shorter than this, because we usually walk at the same pace unless we get, like, stuck behind people.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that value is really, really good. Even at 25, even though it's raised a bit, but it's went up a little bit more in length though. So yeah. For value, we gave it a 9.5.
So that brings us to an overall score of a 10.
Yeah. Like I said, like the only couple things that we complained about, pretty much have been fixed. Okay. And and again, a 10 doesn't mean something is perfect. Nothing's perfect. No matter what you look at of any kind of media, everyone has their opinions on things, but when we give something a 10, we're like, what would we realistically improve? And there really isn't anything specific that I can think of as a pointer that wouldn't just be the utmost of nitpicking with this experience.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I really do think, and this is one of the places I'm very confident in, because even with like some of the other places we give really high scores to, I do hear stories of, I went this night and it was just a giant conga line, or I went this night and there was like no actors there. Every person I've sent to Ghoul Brothers, and I mean, last year I went there like, I don't know, 2 or 3 times. Every time we've went, it's a completely consistent experience. And every time we have people go there, it is the same experience that we've had, and we've heard that feedback. I think this is one of the best. So if you've not been there, you should go to it. The more popular haunted house is Schoolhouse, which is like a 10-minute drive. I mean, still a good haunt, don't get me wrong. Yeah. But like, if you're going to that one, there's literally no reason not to go to Ghoul Brothers. I think it's better to prioritize this haunt over that one. If so yeah, absolutely check them out. I don't know, win those tickets. Hopefully you win. Even if you don't win, go support them. They deserve it. Buy some merch. Yeah. Thank you very much for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe, and also make sure you're ringing that notification bell so you don't miss any future upcoming videos. Thank you for watching.
Bye.